you have $1,000 that you're going to buy stocks in companies that you do not believe in if you do not accomplish this goal. Sometimes you need the pain of not doing something to be greater than the pain of you doing it in the moment.
And so if you associate a lot of pain to exercising and you don't want to exercise, you don't want to do it, you don't want to get up, you don't want to do it, you need something that's bigger pain that's going to get you over that hump, so to speak.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode, number 974. Last week's live podcast, Is Lack of Confidence Holding You Back? I know for the vast majority of my journey it has, so hopefully that episode helped you. Today, for episode number 975, one huge accountability trick. We are going to talk about something that I remember Alan said to me one time. He said, hey, I was on the phone with this client and I talked about creating a commitment device. And I said, what in the hell is that? Alan explained it to me, and we have a very interesting story how that is going to help us accomplish one of our goals. But before we do that, Alan, what is a commitment device? Tell the people about the things.
Well, so I think the first thing to talk about prior to commitment device is to understand that first and foremost, on this podcast, we want to help you achieve more of your goals and dreams. And that's a very challenging thing. Anyone who thinks achieving goals and dreams is easy, they are wrong, in my opinion. I think we are not naturally good at being consistent, and I think consistency is required for us to achieve any sort of long-term vision. So commitment device is something that helps you be consistent and keep the promises you make to yourself by associating pain with not doing that. More pain. It's necessity. You've heard us talk a lot about that. So the first thing to understand here is that it's a lot easier to change your perception, in my opinion, than your behavior. A lot of people change their perception very quickly. So they tell themselves a new story of like, well, I guess I don't really have to go to the gym for 45 minutes. I'm going to do 30 minutes instead. Or, oh, you know what? Honestly, it's a weekend and I'd rather go to this barbecue, so I'll just make sure I go to the gym tomorrow. We're really good at telling ourselves these stories that we'll go tomorrow, or we'll do our mobility tonight, or we'll write our book the next day, or whatever it is. And again, everyone on earth struggles with this in some area. Everyone is also very consistent and disciplined in one area too, but that's a whole nother episode. So in this podcast, we want to help you change your behavior. Yes, we change your perception too, change the way you think, change the way you act, change the way you live. That's the hyper-conscious mindset long before NLU, but we also want to help you change your behavior. And a commitment device is an excellent way to do that. So Amy, you all know Amy on NLU team. She gets coached, I think it's bi-weekly, by my beautiful girlfriend, Emilia. Emilia said, okay, you want to be more consistent in working out. And by the way, they wouldn't mind me sharing this. From now on, you have to pay me $20 every time you miss a workout. Amy has not missed a single workout yet. Amy is very good with money. I would argue she's overly scarce at times, but she does not spend needless money. And I really applaud her for that. She's wonderful at that. And she associates a lot of pain to wasting money. Wasting money is definitely not a good thing. And Amy grew up in a family that had her father was a professor of finance. So he really understands the ins and outs of how to do well financially. And so she associates massive pain with wasting money. Wasting money is a big no-no for her. Guess who has not missed a workout ever since Emilia said, you have to pay me $20 every single time you miss a workout? It worked perfectly. Nothing else seemed to be working. And now I was just on the phone with Amy, and every Saturday, Amy and I have a fitness check-in because I'm kind of her fitness coach / guide a little bit as well. And she's so proud of herself. She's finally keeping the promises that she makes to self. So the most important lesson on this episode is all humans will do more to avoid pain than to gain pleasure. That's human nature. But you have to leverage both. So a goal is pleasure. I want this goal, better body, better business, better, weights in the gym or marathon, whatever it is. Goals are great. We love goals. Absolutely. A commitment device associates even more pain associated with not achieving the goal. And so Kevin and I are going to actually create one on this episode so that we can lead by example and show you how to create one as well.
So, Alan, I don't know how the conversation started, but you and I were talking about fitness and how we may or may not be jeffing according to our own standards. And I said to Alan, I said, well, one of the things we've been talking a lot about recently is accountability, and why don't we hold each other accountable? And I think the best way for us to do that is to create a commitment device. So this is what I said. Initially, this was my thought. My mind automatically goes to money. Money is a very, very strong motivator for me. And if you say, hey, you're going to lose money if you don't do this thing, I'm probably going to do that thing. I said, what if we did this? What if you and I created an agreement where we're going to put $1,000 into a stock of a company if we do not reach a certain weight by a certain date? And we went with companies that we don't believe in. So one was Anheuser-Busch and the other one was Philip Morris. So a tobacco company and alcohol company, things that Alan and I might not be for, right? So we were using the pain of saying, okay, look, you have $1,000 that you're going to buy stocks in companies that you do not believe in if you do not accomplish this goal. Sometimes you need the pain of not doing something to be greater than the pain of you doing it in the moment. So this is actually what we came up with because we said, you know what, let's not do that. Let's make it even better. Let's make it more aligned. So I said, okay, Alan, what if we do this? You and I are going to go on the podcast today, and we are going to give the public accountability that, hey, by August 1st, I will weigh in at 170 pounds. By August 1st, Alan will weigh in at 180 pounds. If we miss, this is what's going to happen. So say I miss that weigh-in and I do not accomplish my goal. I do not get to be on the episode of August 1st. So I will not be on the episode if I miss that. If Alan misses that, Alan will not be on that episode. If we both miss, there will not be an episode on August 1st, and which actually means we'll have to weigh in before Alan because we record the episodes in advance, but that's okay.
100%.
Now, really, really think about that. Alan and I have told you since the beginning of when we started this together that we would not miss an episode. So we're using that commitment. We're using that thing that we take so much pride in. We're using that part of our business, part of our brand, consistency, show up. We're using that as this extra incentive, this extra motivation to say, look, this is our commitment device. Either we do this or we have to miss an episode on the podcast, something that we said we would never, ever, ever do. So much, in fact, that when we were trying to come up with things to stay committed to, it was a challenge to say, like, okay, what's going to be powerful enough, but not too powerful? And really think about this. When you're setting up a commitment device, you kind of should think to yourself, I don't know, that's a little too much. It's a little too much for us to miss an episode in order to get in the shape we want, because that's actually going to keep us accountable. It has to be the right height. There's a scene in Batman, I'm sure you remember this, Alan, where he's holding the guy off of a balcony, and he says, this isn't high enough to kill me, you know, and he says, I know, I'm counting on it, right? Like, it's that right amount where he's going to fall off and break his leg, but it's not going to kill him. I think that you have to have that built in with this accountability, the commitment device, where I want it to scare you a little bit. I want there to be a part of you that's like, oh man, that would really, really suck if I had to do that, because that's going to be the extra incentive. That's the extra motivation when it's that time of the night and you're supposed to go to the gym. It's that extra question of, oh my goodness, am I going to regret this if I do not hit my weight? And Kevin does the podcast alone and it's the best damn episode there's ever been done, and he goes viral and he leaves me behind and then I have to go do something else. Or am I going to be saying the same thing on the other end? It really is that thing of, you will often do more for other people than you'll do for yourself. And this is just a great example of that. So where can you do this? Is there somewhere in your life where you have this goal that you're setting and you've said it 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, you just cannot seem to follow through? Where can you put a commitment device into place where it's, hey, I'm going to reach out to my friend. We both have similar core values. We're going to put money in a pot. And if we do not accomplish our goals on time, we're going to donate that to something we don't believe in, or we're going to, whatever it may be. I mean, whatever works for you. That is what we came up with. So either Alan and I will weigh in at our respective 180 pounds, 170 pounds on August 1st, or you will not get an episode from NLU, or it'll be one or the other. That is probably the best commitment device you and I can create.
Yeah, there's no chance.
I'm super excited.
Chance I don't weigh in at 180.
Same.
No chance.
Same.
Because we care so deeply about this podcast, and not only will we be letting ourselves down and each other down, but we're going to let down all our listeners too. No chance.
Yeah.
And our team. So that's so important. One more example of a commitment device. Shout out to my client, Amanda. I talked about this, and she gave me permission to talk about this. We created a little contract that said, Amanda, if I miss 30 minutes of exercise per day, we'll miss, in the next 14 days, we will miss our next coaching session. And so I said, Amanda, not only are you letting yourself down, but you're also letting me down, and you're letting NLU down because we need that revenue, and coaching's a big part of our business. And so these commitment devices are extremely, extremely powerful. Whether it's I'm going to be at the beach in 3 months for the 4th of July, or it's, and I think that's 2 months or whatever, or it's I want to fit into this wedding dress, or it's I'm going to do this marathon and I invited all my friends and family there. The chances of you, the probability of you following through increases exponentially associated with whatever is causing you pain to not follow through. The pain, like Kevin said, the pain of not following through must be greater than the pain of following through. And so if you associate a lot of pain to exercising and you don't want to exercise, you don't want to do it, you don't want to get up, you don't want to do it, you need something that's bigger pain that's going to get you over that hump, so to speak.
Hey, I wanted to give my experience working with Kevin and the rest of the Next Level University team. It has been such a seamless relationship. He is so easy to work with, Kevin, and he gives you all the information you need, but doesn't overwhelm you. He's also meets you where you're at. So whatever you want to do, he'll make it work. And it's just, there's no stress, there's no drama. And everybody else that I've worked with has been patient with me because I am not technologically savvy. So they've been helpful and patient and just encouraging, and it's just been a fantastic experience. I highly, highly recommend working with them.
So the question I want you to ask yourself, I wrote this down, where are you constantly letting yourself down? For the longest time, I was letting myself down writing my book. Now I have an accountability partner, Sarah. We write every day, and we're over 20 days now in a row. Now, I want to be transparent on this podcast. I have skipped a couple days and then caught up. My goal was 3 paragraphs a day. I went 4 days without writing, and then I did 12 paragraphs to catch up. But the point is that without my accountability partner, without the pain associated with letting someone else down in addition to myself, without Kevin and I letting each other down on the podcast, or the fear of that, we probably wouldn't have gotten to 975 episodes without missing. Can you imagine doing 975 episodes, Kev, and never missing, and then missing this next time? No chance. We're going to weigh in at 180 and at 170 respectively. And it's not going to be because we were more disciplined. It's not going to be because we were inherently better or anything like that. Not better than anyone else, but better than our previous self. It's going to be the fact that we made this commitment device, and now there's way more pain associated with not following through. And that's how human beings work. It really is. I coach people all over the world. You know that. No one is above this. I know healthy people that are not wealthy. I know wealthy people that are not healthy. I know healthy, wealthy people that are not in love. And it's because we don't usually have necessity in all 3 areas. And it's really important to create that and design that. Most people are most in shape when they're on a sports team. There's just a lot of pain associated with not showing up to practice because you're letting the team down. You're letting your coaches down. You're letting yourself down. And just letting yourself down is not enough. It's not enough.
It should scare you. It really, this whole process should scare you. I remember when I was doing my bodybuilding show however many years ago, I did not, and I'm serious about this, I did not overeat once in the however many months, 30, it was I don't know, was it 3 months, 90 days, whatever it was, whatever my prep was. I literally would take out a gram of rice and put it back and say, too much, because I was so afraid that I was going to show up on stage and not look good. Now, again, that's a different thing and that's a different journey, and that was very, very difficult. But I think that it's one of those thought processes where the same thing that will keep you consistent is stopping you from being consistent in the first place, where it's I'm so scared that I won't accomplish what I want to accomplish, so I'm not going to stack the deck that way. You have to be afraid that you're not going to accomplish it because it can't be an easy out. I told Taryn that on the porch when I went out, and she said, what did you guys come up with for episodes? And I said, well, we're going to do one on commitment devices. And I said, this is what we're going to do. And I cannot miss, because if we don't do an episode, really think about this. if we don't do an episode on that day, I never, ever, 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 ever again get to say we've never missed an episode.
I know.
I can't
It's
do
not
it.
an option. Not an
And
option.
I'm already thinking about how would that play out in the future. That it will affect so many things. It will hurt me physically. So I will diet and I will work out and I will exercise and I will hit that weight on August 1st. It'll probably
Same.
have to be whenever we're recording the episodes, it'll have to be. But you'll know because if there's no episode, we're out here Jeffing. If I'm not here, I Jeffed. If Alan's not here, he Jeffed. So my goal in this, and I told Alan, I want to be vulnerable. We struggle with things too. We struggle with consistency as much as, maybe not as much as because we have so many accountability layers built in, but we struggle with consistency just like everybody else. Mm-hmm. And this is the reason Alan and I are doing this because it's the maximum fear. It's the maximum pain. We cannot miss. We will not miss for you if you're listening out there. So I was struggling a little bit with fitness. Alan hasn't been getting the results he wants. Neither of us have because it hasn't been as much of a priority because the necessity wasn't high enough. This is us creating extra necessity, and you can do the same thing in your life. I very, very, very highly recommend you do because you will accomplish things that you do not believe you can because you do not want to do things you're afraid to do. Anything in closing, Jeffrey?
No, just it takes courage to set a commitment device. It's supposed to be scary. It was scary for us too. And again, that's the vulnerable truth. You know, I don't want anyone to think that we don't struggle to do these things as well. I do think we're on the higher end of being consistent in general, and I do think consistency comes a little easier at times than most. But I think most of it is just because we've like Kevin said, we've created the accountability. There's so many layers of accountability. I mean, I have accountability with Emilia. I have accountability with Kevin. I have accountability with Sarah. I have accountability with Jenna. I have accountability with Amy and Jenna. I have accountability with the entire NLU team. I have accountability with every listener, every community member, Next Level Nation. So it's not like we're just so disciplined. It's not that. It's our goals require a lot of us, and we've set it up. We've set ourselves up a beautiful runway for success. That's why group coaching works so well. I have a message from someone in group coaching right now who's asking me a question about the whiteboard that Emilia and I use. And it's just, there's so much necessity for us to stay on point. And I just hope that other people are taking advantage of that. And I don't mean in a bad way, but we don't want you to let yourselves down anymore. We want you to keep the promises you make to yourself and to set yourself up to win. And that's what these episodes are always about, because you're not going to feel good about yourself if you keep breaking the promises to yourself. Just like Kevin and I, we've broken more promises in fitness to ourselves than we usually do. I'll just say, this will be the very last thing, Kev. When I said that hashtag NLU Fit Pick Challenge, that's for our community. That's for our team. That's for you. That's for Amy too. Amy was struggling with fitness, and that was one of the things we did to try to help her with it. And you'll notice on my story, Amy's on there constantly. But I'm 77 or 78 days straight of 30 minutes of exercise. But I know for a fact I would not have done that if it wasn't for all the accountability, the public accountability. If it was just me letting me down, it wouldn't be enough. And that's okay to admit. I think that's humility, and it's important.
Next Level Nation, as you know, for the entire month of May, we are doing a giveaway very similar to last month. If you leave us a review, screenshot it, send it to Alan or myself, whether it's email, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it may be, we will enter you into a drawing to win a $100 Amazon gift card at the end of the month. We did it last month. Shout out to Nick who won. We are grateful for all of the reviews. And on a deeper level, when you go and buy something on Amazon or Walmart or wherever it is, wherever you buy your things online, you look at the reviews and you say, what are other people's experiences with this product? Podcasts are the same way. So the more reviews we have, the better we look when people come across us, and then we can help more people get to the next level. So if you would help us do that, we would be grateful, and you have the opportunity to win 100 buckaroos in the process.
Quick vulnerability here. So Think and Grow Rich, I had read 7 years ago, and when we had that book win the poll for Next Level Book Club, I didn't realize how dogmatic some of the thinking was back in the early 1900s. And so I sent an audio to Book Club vulnerably just saying, listen, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize how outdated a lot of these mentalities are. And one of the things that we've done to rectify that is we put a poll up with much more holistic books. I'll say that, much more holistic books. And one of them was by Carol Dweck, a book called Mindset that Kevin recommends to everybody. And it's really, really powerful. I'm pretty sure I went through the first 3 chapters yesterday. Yesterday is House Optimization Days. So we have a new book in Book Club. I'm sorry about the Think and Grow Rich thing. I won't let that happen again. And everybody's super, super pumped for Carol Dweck's mindset. It's about how to transform your fixed mindset into a growth mindset and how effort over time is going to change your life. So join us in Book Club. The link will be in the show notes. If you've never attended Book Club, trust me, it's awesome. It's very inclusive. It's very contemplative. I come prepped with 5 big ideas from the chapter, and then we talk about them. And it's a big self-awareness club. We call it Mirror Club, kind of. There's a lot of heavy mirrors in there, but it's really awesome to see. This is the last thing I'll say. When you see someone else have a breakthrough, you start to think about your own life differently. You start to say, oh, okay, well, that's how they are, and this is how I am. And it's a very group dynamic, safe, non-recorded, non-repurposed place to dig deep into what's going on in your life so that you can really achieve your goals. So Book Club's fire. Please sign up, and I hope to see you. It's every Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Every Saturday. 60 sessions in a row, Kev.
Strong work. I have made it to 0 of those sessions. So
0
I
of
am
those sessions.
grateful.
One of these days, I bet you Kevin comes into the mindset one because it's one of his favorite books.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe. If you want to see me there, you guys want to see me there, just send me a message and I'll see what I can do.
Send Kevin a message if you want to see him on Book Club.
You see enough of me, seven episodes a week, social media, all that happy jazz. Next Level Nation tomorrow for episode number 976. It is last week's live Q&A. We talked a lot about confidence. How can I be more confident in the rooms where I don't feel good enough? Again, something I have much, much, much experience with. As always, we love you. We appreciate you. We are grateful for each and every one of you. Please keep those reviews coming. It helps us so much. And as always, at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out